Morning, guys. When we feel loved, when we truly feel loved, there is nothing more powerful in this world. I felt it in my life. I am so grateful for all the love in my life. And I want you to know how powerful that love is. And I want you to know, too, that we all can show the determination, make the decision to recognize that love is a verb, as Stephen Covey has said. It's an action. And I've never had the courage to say this until now. But I want you to know, wherever you are, whatever mistakes, whatever you've been through, whatever you've gone through, you are loved. I love you. I love you because you're the same as me. We all have that one common denominator. We have a mind of our own. We have the power to control it, and we can choose love over hate. And that makes us unlimited. So I want you to remember that no matter what. Have a great day, everyone.
Life and winning is a bunch of sprints within a marathon. You know,
That's a fact.
yeah, a bunch of sprints within a marathon. And you can't see the end line. Like in a marathon, you know where the end line is. In winning, that race may have an end line, but there's another start line right after it.
Yeah.
And for people that are really driven, and this is not about money, and this isn't about fame. This is about, you could be winning as a school teacher, you could be winning as an entrepreneur, you could be winning in business, you could be winning as an athlete, as a waiter, whatever it is, a waitress, whatever it is. It's that every single time you sprint to that finish line, there's another start line that's coming. And that's why it never ends. It's a marathon that just keeps going, going, and going. And I try to tell people, listen, I'm not an avid runner. I used to be in my much younger days, not avid. I used to enjoy it. You see the times of the best marathons, they're running
Insane.
insane.
They're basically sprinting.
They're sprinting.
Yeah.
They are sprinting. Everyone looks at the physical condition. Are you mentally prepared to sprint every single day? Are you mentally prepared to sprint every single day, and for how long? Because somebody else is sprinting. You don't want them to get what should be your win ends up being somebody else's win.
Learn to be patient with the results, but impatient with yourself. Patient with the results, patient with how long it's going to take you to get to your goals and where you want to go, but impatient with yourself for what effort you are going to put in today to start making progress. It's a marathon to get to your goals, and it's a sprint right now to max out your effort. This is what I think a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people have confused. We have it flipped. You need to flip patience and impatience. Most people are the opposite. Most people are really patient with themselves. You're patient with yourself. Like, tomorrow I'll do it. On Monday I'll do it. On my birthday I'll do it. On Jan 1st I'll do it. You're incredibly patient with yourself for when you're going to deliver. But then you're really impatient with the results. Like, why am I not winning? Why didn't I get my million subscribers? Why am I not getting X results? Like, whatever your goal is, you're really impatient that you want the results now, but you're really patient with yourself. That's what needs to be flipped. You need to understand that if you have a big goal in your life, it's going to take some time to get there. But that doesn't mean go and be lazy, right? That's the marathon you're running. But today is a sprint. Today, you're putting your max effort in. There's a great clip of Tom Bilyeu and Gary Vee. Tom went on Gary's YouTube show to talk about patience. And he said something along the lines of, I hate how you talk about patience, because I'm telling people to not be patient. Stop being so patient. Go, drive hard. You have a goal, chase it down. And Gary said, I agree with you. Gary's taking the macro view that you need to have patience and understand that your life goals are that marathon. And Tom's taking a micro view that today matters. You have to adopt both mindsets. Flip patience and impatience. I look at what I'm trying to do. What's my next goal? if I want 5 million subscribers on YouTube or 10 million subscribers on YouTube, it's going to take a while to get there. Like, that is a marathon. That does not just happen tomorrow. That is not a limiting belief. It just doesn't happen tomorrow, right? This is a marathon to get there. I'm trying to solve the world's biggest problem, that people don't believe in themselves enough. That's a marathon. That's running for the rest of my life, trying to solve that problem, both in me to have Evan Carmichael believe in himself more. That's the marathon, and to spread as much belief out to the world as possible as well. That's a second marathon. These are the marathons that I'm running. And today matters. Today matters how I show up. This video matters how I show up. My filming day today matters how I show up. I hope that this video is the one that for you finally makes the shift. That's the goal. That's the intention always. Whether I accomplish that or not, who knows? But it's the intention showing up. What it does is bring urgency to the work that you're doing. Because when you think about how long-term some of your goals might be, or especially the mission that you're on, your mission that you've got is for life, right? Trying to solve the world's biggest problem. People don't believe in themselves enough. That's life. You can look at that giant thing and feel like it's impossible. Like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get there, so why even try? You know, you ever felt like that? You have a goal so big, and there's some days that you feel motivated to go after the goal, and then other days where it's like, oh, it's so big, I'm never going to do that. Why even bother? Like, anything I do is just going to make a tiny dent in that thing anyway, so why even bother, right? You ever been there? So to make that shift happen, you have to remind yourself that today will matter. You have to feel like today matters, that the work you're going to do today really, really matters, and that you show up with that level of energy. Because if you show up feeling, oh, it doesn't matter, nobody cares, it's so slow anyway, you're patient with yourself, you say, I'll do it on Monday. Guess what? Like, Monday comes and then you're telling yourself next Monday, and you never end up heading anywhere close to your goals. And then you end up feeling regret, feeling sad, feeling depressed that you've just wasted a year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years of your life because you kept being so patient with yourself.
With dementia, you're adrift in a vast expanse.
So how do we flip it, right? Step one is the mindset. Just to recognize that you need to flip patience and impatience, that you need to be more patient with the results, right? To get to your whatever goal, and less patient with yourself. Okay, that's step one. Step two, how do we actually do that? How do we actually become less patient with ourselves? How do we actually show up as our best selves every day with energy, with intent? Because this is one of the biggest struggles, guys, and I know you feel it. Life of an entrepreneur, you are your own boss, which is great and liberating and free, but then the downside is there's nobody that you're accountable to. There's no boss who's looking over your shoulder saying, you better get this done, right? So we'll always do more for other people than we will for ourselves. You'll let yourself down a lot more than you will other people. If you say you're gonna be at the gym at 6:30 to meet somebody to work out together, you'll show up because you don't wanna disappoint them because you said you'd be there. But if it was just for yourself and you said 6:30 at the gym, a lot of times you won't show up. You'll show up for them, but you won't show up for yourself. Think about all of the positivity you've poured in other people. How many people have you poured love into? How many people have you told, you can do it, you're gonna make it, I believe in you, you're pouring love, energy, light, hope into other people, right? If you're watching this, you're part of Believe Nation, I hope you're doing that. Come on, fam, let's go. How many times have you done that? Probably a lot. But then what's the message you tell yourself in the mirror? You know? How many of those kind words are you sharing yourself? How many times are you saying, hey, I believe in you, you can do this? It feels so silly when we say it to ourselves. It feels genuine when you're telling other people. We're happy to cheer them on and tell them, like, come on, you can totally do this. But if you said the exact same words with the exact same tone, looking at yourself in the mirror, come on, you can do this. You don't believe it. It sounds stupid. It sounds fake. Because you're going to show up to help other people, but you won't show up for yourself. This is one of the hardest parts about being an entrepreneur. So then how do we start to flip it? How do we show up with that intention? Well, the morning routine really matters. That's why I make these videos, guys. Me personally, I want to be around Tim Grover every day. I want to be around Elon Musk every day. I want to be around Steve Jobs and Oprah Winfrey and Kanye West every day. I want to be around these people every day. That morning habit really, really matters. Like I said in the intro of this video, people don't wake up The people you love, your heroes, don't wake up and, yes, oh my God, I'm so excited. Today is another day to be alive. This is the problem. We look at successful people and just assume that they're so different. They're not different. They wake up, they're tired, they have lines on their face, they need to go to the bathroom, like wake up the same way. The difference is they create that morning routine that sets them up to feel bold, to feel powerful, to feel confident, to feel like today matters, to feel like I'm ready to go run the sprint. Because if you can connect what you're doing every day to something meaningful and important, you're going to show up differently. In my mind, I'm telling myself that this video matters. That today, in my shooting, in my recording today, it's going to touch somebody, maybe not the world, but it's going to touch at least one person. It's going to matter. This video will matter, and it changes how I show up for that video. So what do you need to put into your morning routine to help you get that feeling? And this is the most important part of a morning routine. When people ask me, well, what's the most important thing in a morning routine? The most important thing isn't working out, isn't putting on music, isn't yoga or stretching or prayer or meditation. The most important thing is getting the feeling. This is where achievers fall down, because you're checking the box to say, I did all my things in morning routine. But if you don't feel inspired, courageous, self-belief, ready to go take on the day, then your morning routine failed you. And it's a question of now, how do we edit our morning routine to bring some of that in, to add some new tasks, maybe watching an espresso video, hey now, or just doing it again, but with intention. Because maybe listening to music and putting on your favorite song or watching a video like this is the thing that helps you. But because you're doing it while you're distracted, you're looking at your calendar, you're checking your email, you're brushing your teeth, you're doing something else, you didn't have the focus, and so you didn't get the feeling. So congratulations, you checked the box and said you did your morning routine, but if you did not get the feeling of bold confidence, courageousness to take on the day, your morning routine needs to be done again. It's really important. And then the third thing I'd add quickly is some kind of connection to service. We are built to serve. We want to feel like we matter to somebody else. Doing something selfishly for ourselves is not enough. Having that dream car is not enough. Having a dream house is not enough. Taking a dream vacation for ourselves is not enough. We need to feel like we're doing something that impacts other people, that we matter, that our work matters. And so how can you tie the work you're about to do today to service somehow? For me, it's hanging out in our Discord. You can come check us out for free. Join in evancarmichael.biz. It'd be awesome to see you there. It's also looking at the comments that I get on my YouTube channel. It's also looking at what people are posting in their gratitude sections on our Discord. It feels like what I do matters. Now, I'm spoiled now in terms of how many comments do I get on my YouTube channel. But at the very beginning, when I didn't have that, even before YouTube, I used to do speaking gigs, and I would feel so great after a speaking gig. For anybody who's done speaking, you know how nerve-wracking it can be before going into a speaking gig, and then it feels great while you're there. It feels even better after the speaking gig when everybody comes up after you and tells you how much it impacted them. That's the best feeling in the world. But then you go back home the next day and it's like, oh, now what? You know, and for me at the beginning, I have a month or two between speaking gigs. So what I would do is take all the feedback that I got of what people would tell me or what people would email to me, and I put it in a PowerPoint file that I would watch every morning. And I put it to Michael Bolton, I Will Go the Distance. And I watched that every morning for at least a year. Every morning I would watch that PowerPoint file. And it reminded me that what I do matters. And it might sound really cheesy, might sound really corny. Maybe you love Michael Bolton, maybe you hate Michael Bolton. It doesn't matter, it worked for me. Seeing the feedback, because I didn't get a lot of it. I wasn't getting feedback every day, but it made me feel like, yeah, that's what I do. It matters, because it feels like every day you're waking up and you're kind of starting over, right? Do you feel that? Like you had the greatest day yesterday, and then the next day you wake up, it's like, why do I not feel the same way that I felt yesterday? What happened to the energy? Where did it go? This is a daily reset. You know, just like you need to brush your teeth every day to keep dental hygiene, you got to remind yourself of the importance of the work that you do to keep your mental hygiene, to keep your purpose hygiene, right? So having something that reminds you that what you do matters, to default to service somehow, Because again, when you feel like the thing you're going to do today will touch somebody's life, you'll show up with a totally different energy, vibe, importance, urgency than if you feel like today, nobody really cares if I show up or not. It makes a huge difference. You have to flip patience and impatience. Your big goal, your big macro mission, the thing that you're fighting to make happen for yourself, your family, the community, the world, will take time as a marathon. And so be patient if the results don't come right away. But be insanely impatient with today. You sprint today. You put everything you've got in today. The work you're going to create matters today. Flip patience and impatience and watch your life change. Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
azúcar, no sea mala fe, pa' que se mezclen a mi piel café. Padre negro, madre blanca, los colores más bacanos, por eso es que veo a todo el mundo como un hermano, yeah.
Legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed, breathing in through our noses and out through our mouths. Feeling the power of you controlling your breathing. Knowing, remembering, it's the same power we use to control our thinking. Now use that power. Use your determination to see in your mind today your best effort in all the exercises, stretches, movements we do here together. See it in your mind right now. See yourself doing the best you can, giving the best effort you've ever done for anything. Maybe you want to visualize the last time we did these exercises and stretches together. Go there and think right now about what you could do better or differently this time. It's the same process we use to grow our minds and grow the strength and health of our bodies and energy. Alright, good morning, determination. How's everyone today? Another day in the gym of life. Wherever you are, if you're at home, outdoors, indoors, let's go. Let's make this the best gym period ever. Here we go. Alright, when I say go, we're going to start jogging on the spot. But for now, if you would like, just to slowly warm up, you can walk on the spot or walk side to side. Okay, so walking on the spot first or side to side, wherever you are. When I say go, we'll start jogging. Ready, and go. Again, remembering our breathing. Always controlling our breathing as best we can. And focusing on the movement of our body right now. The awareness of what we're doing. The awareness of being here together right now, united in the gym of life, always, wherever we are. Keep going, everyone, keep going. A few more seconds to warm up our bodies. Feel the power of your heart beating faster. Your breathing wanting to change and go faster, but you get to control that breathing. Always the way we control our thoughts. And stop. All right, everyone, walking. Just gonna walk side to side here. You can do the same. Remember to always move safely within the space that you have. Continue to take deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel your heart, your breathing, all coming back to the previous state before we started jogging. All right, everyone, and let's start doing our stretches. Let's do shoulder rolls first. Here we go. Roll the shoulders forward 10 times. Big shoulder rolls all the way up to your ears as much as possible and all the way around. Let's do 10 forward and then 10 backwards. Feeling that tension and then that release as we come around. All right, let's go backwards. Feeling the joy of being able to move our bodies to release some of that tension, maybe that tightness we might have. So important that we work on our bodies and our minds every day. As we work on one, we work on the other. All right, arm circles forward, everyone. 10 forward. Here we go. Slowly, all the way up and around. Excellent. All right, and backwards, everyone. Again, feeling the joy of your arms moving through space. You controlling your physical body. All through the most marvelous supercomputer in the universe, your mind. All right, good. Hands on your hips, everyone. Bend your knees and side stretch. Let's do 5 on each side. All right, excellent. Okay, let's twist our bodies now. Twist. Again, 5 on each side. Feeling the joy of moving our midsection of our body. Just the middle point of our body. All right, excellent. Okay, let's do 5 push-ups, everyone. Our best 5 push-ups. Here we go. All the way down, all the way up. The best you can. All right. And 5 sit-ups. Best 5 sit-ups ever. Here we go. All right, and stand up, everyone. Let's do 5 squats. Here we go. All the way down, all the way up. Down. Looking straight ahead. Feet flat on the floor. Excellent. Let's do 6 lunges, 3 on each side. Alternating legs. Arms out. Back straight. Good. All right. 10-second plank, belly's knees off the ground. Hold it there for 10. Excellent job, everyone. Okay, stand up. And reach for the ceiling or the sky, wherever you are, on your toes. Here we go. Reaching and holding it there for 10 seconds. Again, feeling your body, every part of it working to achieve the goal of holding this for 10 seconds. Excellent. And reach for your toes, straight knees. Go as far as you can. Remember, you may not touch your toes, that's okay. Reaching is the most important thing. Going for it. Doing your best without hurting yourself. Keep those knees straight. Excellent. And come on up. And let's balance. Grab one leg. Bend the other knee if you have to. And hold it there for 10 seconds. Keep fighting to keep your balance if you have to. Keep thinking. Channeling your thoughts to keep your balance. Excellent. All right, and switch. Again, pulling your leg back, feeling the stretch on the front of the thigh. Bend the other knee if you have to. Remember, if you lose your balance, you fall, you get right back up. Never give up, never stay down. Always do your best to get right back up. All right, here we go. Let's hug our knee now. Hugging the knee, holding it up. Once again, thinking about what we're doing. Trying to find that balance point, and the other knee if you have to. Hold it for 10 seconds. And switch, the other one, slowly come on up. And find that balance. Feel your body working to find that balance. All Holding it for 10. Okay, and good. Let's sit down, everyone, and reach for our toes. Straight knees. Hold it there for 10 seconds. Again, thinking about our breathing. One great breath in at a time. One great thought in at a time. All right, let's make a V shape with our legs and reach for the floor as far away from our body as we can. Just reach. Reach as far as you can go away from your body. And reach for one side, hold it for 10 seconds. And good, the other side, 10 seconds. Again, if you don't touch your toe, it's okay, just reach. Reach, always go for it, always do your best. If you feel a pain though, make sure you come back a little bit. Okay, and feet together. Gently push your knees down with your elbows. Hold it for 10 seconds again. And always remember that breathing. Good air in. And bad air out. Good. And one leg forward, one leg back. Keep the knee on the ground. Go as far back as you can. Hold it there for 10 seconds. All right, and switch to the other side. Again, keep that knee on the ground until you feel the pull on the front of your thigh. Doesn't matter if you're not all the way back with your back, it's okay. All right, good. And roll onto your belly. Push the floor and look up at the ceiling. Cobra stretch. Here we go. Hold it for 10 seconds. Or look up at the sky if you're outdoors. All right, and legs crossed again, everyone. Back straight. Eyes closed. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And now, using our powerful imagination to see what we will do when that music goes on. I'm going to play some of my favorite songs today. For each song, I'm going to hold an exercise position. For me today, I'm going to visualize and see in my mind holding the lunge position for each leg for the duration of the first song. For the second song, I'll be holding the V sit-up position as long as I can, for as long as I can, but I will continue right to the end of the song. How about you? Play your two favorite songs or two songs that change your energy state so you can be your true great self and motivate yourself. Or you can listen to my music, but whatever you do, see in your mind right now the two exercises you've chosen to do, or stretches, or movements, or dances, or something that you want to do to work on your body safely when that music goes on. See it right now, clearly in your mind, because you were born to do that. You were born to see it in your mind and make it real with your eyes open in the world. All right, here we go, determination, here we go. For me, it's lunge position. Here I go. Try to keep my back straight, keep that knee off the ground. If you're doing the same, again, do your best. Hold it there as long as you can. I'm gonna try to hold this leg for half the song and then hold the other side for half the song. And if you want, yeah, clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth, as Pharrell sings over here right now. I think happiness is the truth. We were born to be happy, all of us, no matter what. For me, there's no greater happiness than working on my mind and body all the time, wherever I go in the gym of life. And I hope the same for you. But remember, you were born to be happy, to be free, to be peaceful, kind, and loving, always. I'm happy right now. I hope you're happy right now. Because if you can be happy now, you can be happy forever. Wherever you are, no matter what. All right. Whew. Let's do the other leg. Shake it out a little bit. All right, here we go. Don't let anybody or anything ever bring you down. You were born to be happy. That's up to you. Always up to you. No matter how hard things are, always remember your determination. Your power to determine, to make the positive, accurate, truthful, winning, loving choice. Always. To be good. To be your best for others, no matter what. Even when things are uncomfortable, like right now, this is getting uncomfortable for me. But I get to keep going. I get to keep using my determination. Because I'm happy, I love it. And I want happiness for you and everyone, the whole universe. And I pray for that every single day. Whew. Song's not over. I gotta keep going. Let's do the other leg. Let's do the other one. Yeah. Let's clap along, yeah. Happiness is the truth, for sure. Here we go. And switch the other leg. There we go. Find that balance. Let's go, everyone. Clap along wherever you are. Happiness is the truth. Let's go. Thank you, Pharrell. You were born with happiness. You're made of happiness and truth. Oh. All right, I'm proud of your effort, wherever you are. Let's go.
Kira and Zach are collaborating.
All right, next song, everyone. Let's go. V sits for me. V sit up for me position. How about you? What are you gonna work on? Let's see. Whatever it is, do your best. Here we go. If you want to try what I'm doing, go for it. Let's go, everyone, together. If you got your own exercise, your own movement you're doing, go for it. It is a bright, sunshiny day where I am, right here, right now, doing this video for you, for all of us, for myself. And I hope the same for you. But more importantly, I hope that it's bright, clear, and sunny, always in your mind, right now, wherever you are. Because that's always up to us. Oh, I love it. I love working on being our best in whatever we do. No matter how hard it might be, no matter how challenging. There should always be Nothing but blue sky, thoughts in our mind. Clearness, clarity. We can do it. It's up to us. We were born to do it. So let those dark clouds pass, those thoughts, those negative thoughts. And remember the truth of what we are, who we are. Whew. I love it. I can see clearly right now. I know I got more. Here we go. Song's not over. Let's go, Mr. Francis. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Nick. Here we go. Keep going, everyone, wherever you are. Keep going. Let's go. This is the best effort ever we're giving, right? The best effort, no matter what. The way we do this is the way we'll do everything. Fall, we get right back up. Still not over. Song's not over. Let's go. Keep going. We fall, we get right back up. Never give up. Never. Never give up until it's a bright, sunshiny day in your mind, and we've done the best to help other people with their mind. It's possible. All through your determination. Let's go, everybody. Oh, great effort. And here we are again. Legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Deep breaths in through our noses and out through our mouths. The way we began. The way it all begins, always. Always with our thoughts. Our powerful minds. Which are always subject to our control. No matter how hard it's been to control them. We know the truth, don't we? We saw it today in our effort. We see it every day in life, in the gym of life. We know that we have the power to determine what thoughts we will act upon. And therefore, we also have that power to determine what feelings we will allow to flow out and through us. Because our feelings are ultimately connected to our thinking. If we control our breath with our thoughts, we can always control our thoughts and therefore our feelings. To learn and to grow and to be mind healthy and mind wealthy. Peaceful, kind, loving, free, and successful in whatever we do, wherever we are, no matter what. That's why we are already, whether we know it or not, determined nation, a people, a nation that always has the power to determine, to think, and to be positively, undoubtedly, unwaveringly loving, no matter what. Great job today, everyone. I love you so much. Another great time here together. This is probably one of our last for the summer. I hope you enjoy every moment, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Whether you're in a classroom, at work, at home, wherever you are. Enjoy every moment. It's been an absolute pleasure to be with you, to continue growing our minds and our bodies together. But remember the truth, no matter what. Wherever you go, wherever you are already in the gym of life, where you can always grow your mind and your body. I love you. Thank you so much for always helping me grow my mind and my body. And may today and everything we've done together, our time together, and wherever you are, with whoever you're with, may that always be an expression of who and what we really are. I love you, everyone. Have a great summer. I will see and connect with you as soon as the time comes. I love you all.
Who are you inspired by?
Well, Kanye West, obviously.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and like Elon Musk says,
you have to really believe in what you're creating and know in your heart and mind that this is something that matters.
and that's why I make these videos to help you believe in yourself and make something that matters.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with
Believe Nation.
I think, so when you create a company, I mean, if you think, well, what is a company really? A company is a group of people gathered together to create a product or service. And that's really all a company is. And so you have to really believe in what you're creating and that it's, and know in your heart and mind that this is something that matters, that, and that the world ought to have. And I think it's important to investors to show that you're all in. And I think, for example, with Tesla, the fact that I invested all the money I had, literally I had to borrow money from friends to pay the rent in 2008. The fact that I was all in, I think, made a huge difference to the investors, to convince them to invest in Tesla at the same time that say GM and Chrysler were going bankrupt. I think you have to show that you really care. Like it's like that you've got skin in the game, and that you've given it everything that you've got, and then the other people at the company will follow suit, as will investors. I think that's really important.
Rule number 2, focus on hardcore engineering.
why do you think Tesla succeeded whereas other car companies failed in their methods of electric cars? Like, why do you think Tesla is the leader in this idea?
Well, I mean, there haven't been that many car company startups. I mean, there was sort of Fisker and Coda, and then a few smaller ones, and then the rest has sort of been some fairly small-scale efforts by the big companies. I think if we say, what was the difference between, say, Fisker and Tesla, that's maybe the most direct comparison. Tesla is a hardcore engineering company, and Fisker is kind of it's based on styling. You know, it's like styling is good, important, but that's not the reason we don't have electric cars. So it's not, but for styling we would have electric cars. That's not the reason. So in the case of Fisker, they made a car that a lot of people think looked really good, but didn't work properly. So then people don't want to buy the car. That's like a pretty reasonable thing, I think. I mean, if you think like what's the point of a company existing? The point is that it's a group of people that have gathered together to create a product. If the product is good, the company should exist, and if it is not good, the company should not exist. That seems like fundamental to the nature of companies. So clearly then one should focus on making the absolute best product you can, otherwise you reduce the probability of success. But a lot of companies focus on things that aren't really to do with the product, as though a company has any basis for existing apart from doing useful things. That's kind of strange.
Rule number 3, be driven.
What drives you? What is it that when you wake up in the morning, do you see a problem and you want to solve it?
I think the thing that drives me is that I want to be able to think about the future and feel good about that. We're doing what we can to have the future be as good as possible, to be inspired by what is likely to happen, and to look forward to the next day. So that's what really drives me is trying to figure out how to make sure that things are great and going to be so, and that's the underlying principle behind Tesla and SpaceX. Is that I think it's pretty important that we accelerate the transition to sustainable generation and consumption of energy. It's inevitable, but it matters if it happens sooner or later. And then SpaceX is about helping make life multiplanetary, and doing what we can to continue the dream of Apollo, and ultimately make a contribution to life becoming multiplanetary.
Rule number 4, press on.
As you recall, the recession was particularly difficult for car companies, and right as in the summer of 2008 we had to raise a big funding round, but because of the collapse in the financial system, that funding round didn't happen, and we had to piece together the money to keep the company going from myself and existing investors, and we were able to just complete a financing round that was just barely enough to keep the company going, and we closed it on the last hour of the last day that it was possible to do so. It was Christmas Eve, 2008, 6 p.m. And after that, the investors would have they were going on vacation, wouldn't have been possible to bring them back to the table, and we would have run out of money a few days after Christmas. So that was also a close call. So while things are going really well these days, I think it's always important to remember that when you're creating a company, there are very dark times, and it's about getting through those dark times. That's the difference between success and failure.
Also, if you're a woman who owns a business, then you need a virtual assistant, and not just any virtual assistant.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Rule number 5, don't reason by analogy.
After that third trip, I'd learned a lot more about rockets at that point, and I held a series of meetings, just sort of brainstorming sessions with people from the space industry to try to understand if I was missing something fundamental about the ability to improve rocketry. And this is where I think it's helpful to use the approach, the the analytical approach in physics, which is to try to boil things down to first principles and reason from there, as opposed to reasoning by analogy. And the way this applied to rocketry was to say, okay, well, what are the materials that go into a rocket? How much does each material constituent weigh? What's the cost of that raw material? And that's going to set some floor as to the cost of the rocket. And that actually turns out to be a relatively small number. Certainly well under 5% of the cost of a rocket, and in some cases closer to 1 or 2%. And so I call it sort of maybe the magic wand number. So if you had a pile of the raw material, piles of raw materials on the floor, and you could just wave a magic wand and rearrange them, then that would be the best case scenario for a rocket. And so I was able to see, okay, well, there's clearly a great deal of room for improvement, even if you consider rockets to be expendable. And so I think that's what I mean by sort of thinking about things from a first principle standpoint. If on the other hand, I sort of analyzed it by analogy and said, okay, well, analogy would be, well, what are all other rocket companies, what do their rockets cost? What historically have other rockets cost? And that would be sort of an analogy thing, but it really doesn't illustrate what the true potential is. And so I think it's sort of a first principles approach is a good way to understand what new things are possible. So this is a good framework.
Rule number 6, be optimistic.
Join me on a 90-minute free masterclass where I'm going to be teaching how to access
the proposed Mars expedition. How exactly do you plan on making it cost efficient?
Sure. Well, now that is indeed a tricky problem. I feel reasonably possible that that success is at least one of the possible outcomes. This is pretty important when you're trying to do something. It's like, well, can that be one of the outcomes? I wasn't actually confident about that until a few years ago. Now, I'm not saying we will get there, but I'm confident that it is at least possible. And the key to that is having a fully reusable Mars transportation system, so that all you are replacing between flights, maybe apart from minor maintenance, is the propellant. Reusability is so fundamental to having a major change in space flight. It would be difficult to overstate its importance. But I think with analogy to other modes of transport, you can imagine that if airplanes could only be used once, very few people would fly, because it would be super crazy expensive. I guess like a 747 costs $250 million. You'd need 2 of them just for a round trip. But people are not paying $500 million to fly back and forth to London. And that's because you can use the 747 like 20,000 times. And for a rocket, a Falcon 9 rocket costs about $60 million to build. And so if it can be used once, obviously that's a $60 million capital cost. But if it can be used 1,000 times, then it's only a $60,000 capital cost. That is, it is the fundamental difference. So you have to have fully usable, then you have to make sure that the propellant used is as low cost as possible. So our next generation rockets will be using methane as a fuel, which methane is the lowest cost source fuel on the planet, by a good margin. So, and so I think if your propellant costs are low and the system is fully reusable, then I think it should be possible to move to Mars for less than $500,000, which I think is an important threshold, because if people can sell all this stuff on Earth and move to Mars, Well, and there's enough people who can do that, combined with those who actually want to do that. That's the fundamental thing needed to have a growing colony on Mars. I mean, kind of like the way that the U.S. was, like the early English colonies in America. When it became affordable for people to sell all their stuff in England and move to America, it grew really fast. In the absence of that, it would just require humongous amounts of government support, and I think probably wouldn't result in a self-sustaining civilization. So the economics of it are extremely fundamental.
Rule number 7, get the rules right.
HoneyBook is the one-stop shop, and I've been using them for years. HoneyBook is the hub.
It sure is important to get the rules right. It's sort of, in terms of legislative and executive actions, it's sort of like, think of, say, like professional sports or something. If you don't have the rules right, if there isn't, if the game isn't set up properly, it's not going to be a good game. So it's real important to get the rules right. Now, I think it's worth noting that I think still in the United States the rules are still better than anywhere else. It's very easy to put something in place which is an inhibitor to innovation without realizing it. So in terms of the regulatory environment, it's always important to bear in mind that regulations are immortal, and they never die unless somebody actually goes and kills them, and then they get a lot of momentum. So a lot of times regulations can be put in place for all the right reasons, but then nobody goes back and gets rid of them afterwards when they no longer make sense. And there used to be a rule in the early days when people were concerned about automobiles, because that was a pretty scary thing, see a carriage just going wrong by itself. You never know what those things might do. So there were like rules where you had to, in a lot of states, where you had to carry a lantern in front of the automobile. It had to be like 100 paces ahead of the automobile. There had to be someone with a lantern on a pole. I'm like, okay. But you should really get rid of that regulation. And they did, because it would really be awkward. So just regulations, even if done correctly and being right at the time, it's always important to go back and scrub those, periodically to make sure they're still sensible, they're still serving the greater good.
Rule number 8, hire people who care.
When you hire people, or really what you're trying to, when you hire people, that just means you're convincing people to join you in the endeavor. You should hire people that are also passionate about what you're doing. So it's not just that they're not just there for the salary. They really need to care about what they're doing, and then they will stay during the dark times.
Rule number 9, listen to feedback.
Here's another question from a Tesla owner. Why is there no coat hook in the back?
Yeah.
He or she says, you can design a rocket, but you forgot the coat hooks?
Well, I didn't actually forget it. I intentionally didn't like it, so I didn't put it there. The aesthetics of it really bothered me, but and I know, obviously some people disagree with that decision, but I think we might have a retroactive fix for that if somebody has the panoramic roof, which is to basically have a hook on the bow section in the middle of the roof, and then your coat could hang down in the second row passenger footwell, which is actually slightly better than having a coat hook that's stuck on the side of the car. So I think we'll probably do that. Yeah.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is think big.
Need e-commerce for your business? It's never been easier.
How do we figure out how to take you to Mars and create a self-sustaining city, a city that is not merely an outpost but could become a planet in its own right, and for us, thus we could become a truly multi-planet species. Sometimes people wonder, well, what about other places in the solar system? Why Mars? Just to sort of put things into perspective, this is an actual scale of what the solar system looks like. So we're currently in the third little rock from the left. That's Earth. Yeah, exactly. And our goal is to go to the fourth rock on the left. That's Mars. But you can get a sense for the real scale of the solar system, how big the Sun is, and Jupiter, Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, and then the little guys on the right are Pluto and friends. This sort of helps see it not quite to scale, but it gives you a better sense for where things are. So our options for becoming a multi-planet species within our solar system are limited. We have, in terms of nearby options, we've got Venus, but Venus is a high pressure, super high pressure hot acid bath. So that would be a tricky one. Venus is not at all like the goddess. This is not in no way similar to the actual goddess. So it's really difficult to make things work on Venus. Mercury is also way too close to the sun. We could go potentially on one of the moons of Jupiter or Saturn, but those are quite far out, much further from the sun, a lot harder to get to. It really leaves us with one option if we want to become a multi-planet civilization, and that's Mars. We could conceivably go to our moon, and I certainly have nothing against going to the moon, but I think it's challenging to create become multi-planetary on the moon because it's much smaller than a planet. It doesn't have any atmosphere. It's not as resource-rich as Mars. It's got a 28-day day, whereas the Mars day is 24.5 hours. And in general, Mars is far better suited to ultimately scale up to be a self-sustaining civilization. The overall objective of Tesla